Hello, we are the corporate executives for the Kruin Company, and throughout the last month, we have received a lot of backlash for our most recent ad campaign.
We are here to formally apologize for the creation and distribution of that advertisement, which has been viewed as sexist and demeaning towards women.
Many women felt as though the advertisement was marginalizing towards the female gender.
We had no intentions of creating advertisements that could be viewed as sexist, and will work to make sure that never happens again here at Kruin Company.
We have thousands of female customers, and we want them to know that we didn't mean to offend any of them, but also that we take full responsibility for the ad.
The campaign we launched was for the promotion of our newest suit, and it consisted of some of our male models standing over a female model who was laying in a culturally inappropriate position.
This ad presented a negative connotation of women and led to the perpetuation of stereotypes that degrade women.
The fact that many of the male models were standing over the woman model showed that societally men are viewed as having more power than women.
Furthermore, one of the male models was holding a tie, which was tied around the female model's neck, which many people found appalling and belittling towards women. This is the original ad that was launched.
Hi, nice to meet you. Kruin Suit representative. Are you aware of the latest Kruin Suit Company ad?
Yes, I am.
So what specific elements in this ad do you find sexist or inappropriate?
Well, the woman is laying on a bench, and she is laying in a very sexual pose while wearing a skimpy dress. And the man up here is appearing to choke her with the tie and pull on it.
Yes, that's unacceptable. So what changes do you think can be made to make this ad more appropriate?
Well, I think there could be less men, and the woman could be wearing a less skimpy outfit and not be in a sexual pose.
I'm representative for the Kruin Suit Company. Are you aware of the latest ad?
I am.
So what elements of this ad would you say are offensive or sexist?
To me, I'm a promoter of women's rights, and I believe that it is not okay right now in society, with society's norms, to have a woman in such a unsettling dress, almost like showing her body in just such a irregular way. And I just don't like the way she's situated. It's a very sexual manner. I don't like the actions committed against her. There's a man choking her with a tie. That's not really appropriate, I think. And I just think that it really shows a domineering position for men, while a very skimpish position for women, and I don't like that.
So that being said, what changes do you think could be made to this ad to make it more appropriate?
I believe that the woman should be wearing more appropriate clothing. I would say less men. I would say put them in an equal position. And mostly I would just say have them have the same attire, because her attire seems very inappropriate to me.
Hi, nice to meet you. Kruin Suit representative. So, are you aware of this latest suit ad?
I am.
So what elements of this ad do you find sexist or offensive?
Well, I feel like the woman in this picture is very provocatively dressed, as well as all of the men in the picture are just looking down on her, and from a level standpoint, it portrays her as lower than them, as well as they're just like looking at her instead of looking at the camera or something like you would find in post ads.
So how do you think we at Kruin Suit Company could fix these mistakes?
Well, I don't see the point in having a female in this, especially in a dress like that, because it is a suit company, and make the ad more centered around suits and not towards activities.
I understand. Hi, nice to meet you. Kruin Suit representative here. Are you aware of the latest Kruin Suit ad?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
So what elements of this ad would you find offensive?
Well, I absolutely am disgusted by the way they're portraying the girl on the bench, you know. I think it's like they're objectifying her, you know, even though it may not seem like it to some people. It's not really good that they're doing this, because, you know, some females might feel, you know, offended by such advertisement.
So how do you think we can make changes to battle these problems?
First of all, let me grab the poster. So, there's so many guys in this photo, as if we're more superior. First of all, there's more females in the world than guys. Got to point that out. Not only that, but as you can see here, the guy's looking at the girl from the distance. Like, what are you doing? Then we've got another girl, or another guy, I mean, just over the bench. Which is kind of weird, but then you see him starting to unbuckle his belt, or his jacket, which is quite weird. And then we have someone here grabbing a tie. I have no idea what's going on here, but I don't like it at all, yeah?
Here's the ad that was launched and the specific issues associated with it.
The first issue in our advertisement was where one of the male models was grabbing the female model by the neck with a tie.
This issue displays a case of eroticism of violence.
Eroticism of violence can be defined as when women in advertising are presented as victims of sexual violence and are aroused by that violence, as our female model in the advert.
Also, this advert shows eroticism of violence because the female model is shown in a vulnerable position compared to the male model.
As well as that, the fact that there are 6 male models while there's only 1 female model, and like was previously said, that the female model is in a vulnerable position, shows the eroticism of violence in the ad.
The fact that the female model has a tie around her neck, which is being pulled on by the male model, shows how this could be seen as sexual violence. The second issue with this advert is one of the male models is standing over and looking at the female model.
This second issue displays a case of trivialization of sex.
Trivialization of sex is defined as when sex is shown as simple or insignificant, and often it can be portrayed as normal and no big deal.
This example is trivialization of sex because the male model is looking upon the act of sexual violence like it's no big deal and like it's something he's seen before.
Also, the inappropriate position of the female model can be seen as trivialization of sex because the male model's faces are all blank as if they don't care about what is happening.
In addition, the male model pointed out in this image is posing over the female model with a powerful stance, which shows that he thinks he has power over the woman and that the woman is insignificant to himself. The last major issue in this advertisement is the fact that there's a male model in the distance looking upon this scene.
This issue can be seen as commodification of sex.
Commodification of sex can be defined as sex in advertising portrayed as something that can be bought or sold and is not intimate.
This is an issue because the male model in the distance appears like he could just walk upon the group and partake in the scene.
The scene as a whole can be seen as the commodification of sex because the sheer number of male models make it clear that none of the models have an intimate relationship with the female model present.
Moreover, this image can be seen as commodification of sex because the male models who are all wearing the suit portray an image as to if someone bought the suit, then they would just be able to have sex with whoever they wanted.
Here at Kruin Suit Company, we want to show that we understand the importance of sexism in advertising and have created a new appropriate ad as we work towards equality.
Our new ad showcases how both men and women have equal opportunities and status in our society.
Specifically, our new ad shows both a male and female model sitting and wearing our latest suit that we wish to advertise. In our new advertisement, we wanted to portray men and women as equal.
This is why, in this second advertisement, both the models, male and female, are wearing the suit.
The male on the left is shown smiling, as well as the female on the right, and they're both sitting on the bench, equal stances.
Also, this ad does not marginalize women because they are not shown as just a tool for sex.
The fact that both models in this image are wearing the suit shows that neither model in real life is stereotyped and shows that both genders have equal opportunity.
Also, this advertisement is more appropriate than the original because there is only one model of each gender present.
Lastly, the pose of each model is very neutral, which shows that no specific gender has any power over another.
The latest version of our newest suit ad. Do you recognize any changes to the ad, and if so, can you point them out?
Well, yes, there is only one man in this photo, and they're both sitting equally on the bench. And the woman is not wearing a skimpy dress, instead she's wearing a female business suit.
Do you think this makes how do you think these changes make the ad more appropriate?
I think it will, these changes help, so like the woman is not wearing a skimpy outfit, so it's not as sexual, obviously. and the men and women are on equal standpoints rather than on a bench in this photo.
So that being said, do you think that this new version of the ad would make you more likely to buy Kruin suit products in the future?
Yes.
Here's the more appropriate version of the latest Kruin suit ad. Do you recognize any changes that have been made, and if so, can you point them out?
I would say they're in the same position. Neither of them is dominating the other one. They're in more professional attire, and the woman is no longer wearing like skimpish attire. She's now wearing something that more reflects what she's capable of.
So why does that make it more appropriate?
Because women in our society are capable of more than they are sometimes shown as. I believe that a lot of commercials now are suited towards men's appeals rather than women's, and I just find that unfair.
So that being said, do you think that with this new advertisement, you'd be more likely to buy Kruin suit products in the future?
For sure.
All right, thank you for your time. Here's the more appropriate version of the latest suit ad. Do you recognize any changes in this ad? And if so, can you point them out?
Yes, I recognize several. I noticed that both the woman and the man in the picture are wearing suits, which I like because it portrays that the company caters to both men and women because both look for suits in the workforce. And they are sitting on equal level and both just looking at the camera smiling as models should.
So how come those changes make it more appropriate?
Because it is not demeaning towards women and the fact that a woman is wearing something different and not related to the ad, as well as they're on like an equal playing field and it just looks more professional.
So that being said, that we released this new ad, would that make you more likely to purchase Kruin suit products in the future?
Yes, definitely, because I know that they have suits available for women.
All right, great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Here's the more appropriate version of the latest ad. So do you recognize any changes that have been made? And if so, can you point them out?
Many changes, okay? First of all, like I pointed out in this one, there's too many guys, but hey, they take it out completely. That's amazing, first of all. It's good that they're showing that females can be what they want to be. Now after that, we have this young fellow here, got the AirPods, showing that he's quite wealthy. Then we have the female here, both happy. This female here looks like she's distracted, doesn't she? Look, she's getting her tie grabbed. It's kind of weird. Yeah, she's really happy, which is the first step to maintaining an ethical business.
So that being said, so how do these changes make the ad more appropriate?
First of all, like I said, she's not laying on the bench, which is showing no sexual attire at all, which is what you want to aim for in a business. And we have the guy here, which is not showing no sexual, thirst or anything. In this one, you can see that he's grabbing a tie, which is totally unacceptable. Here, he's got his hands right here and ready to land, or ready to do what he's meant to do on that bench.
From the original campaign, the effects on women can be drastic and extensive.
When the media presents women in such demeaning ways, the female audience will feel new pressures in society.
People may generalize women in the ways that were shown or presented in the campaigns, which can cause a divide in gender equality.
As well as new generalizations, the men who view the campaigns may feel as though women are expected to behave in a certain way, and they have more power than women.
These malpractices in advertising are more common than people may think. For example, in 2016, Gap UK released an advertisement for children's clothing that placed different expectations on men and women.
That ad stereotyped women as being more social, while men as being more intelligent.
This example is just one of many that is seen in advertising today.
Many ads today portray stereotypes of men and women through both imagery and language.
Many people view these ads as a depiction of reality and expect women to act, dress, look, and behave in a certain manner that is displayed in the advertisements.
Okay, these expectations lead to gender stereotypes and then possible body confidence and or self-image issues for women.
We hope that this apology shows that Kruin Suit Company cares about its customers and never had any bad intentions.
We also hope that this apology will act as an example for other companies to follow when advertising so that they don't make the same mistakes as we did and prolong the issue of gender stereotyping.
Advertisers in the future need to promote equality amongst men and women like we did with our second advert.
In future advertisements, men and women both need to be seen as acting in similar ways so that there won't be any discrepancies as to whether or not one gender is superior.
Overall, all people should be viewed as equal and the media should present them as such in advertising.
Hopefully those that were offended by our original ad have a new perspective of us here at Kruin Suit Company as we fix our mistakes and work towards gender equality. Thank you for your time.